want to know the easiest way to make $100,000 per year as a life insurance agent in 2025. Now, whether you're just starting out or if you've been an agent for a while, these are the 4 steps to the simplest path to 6 figures per year in income. And it's the exact same approach that agents like Ben used to write $42,000 in one single month, that Eris and Eddie used to make $30K per month working just 3 hours a day, and that Jorge used to make $13K in profit in just 1 month. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. The first thing that you need to make $100K per year as a life insurance agent or more is something called more leads than time, okay? More leads than time. So what does this actually mean? Well, basically, in the life insurance business, leads are a absolute necessity. Like, you have to have leads, leads could kind of be interchanged for different things. You just have to have people to talk to. Now, what happens is there's 2 different situations that you can have. You can either have more leads than time, or you can have more time than leads, okay? Let me describe each of these situations and what they would mean. So let's say you have more time than leads. That means you are basically in lead poverty. You have more time to talk to people than you have people that want to talk to you. Now, what this creates is it basically creates a scarcity mindset. So it creates scarcity. Now, when you have scarcity, you are then going to have something called commission breath, right? Because each individual lead, you have to close it because you don't have you don't know where your next conversation is coming from, right? So it's, the same kind of thing where if you are somebody who, let's say you're a guy and you have a lot of girls that are interested in you, if one girl is playing games, you're going to be able to find another one very easily, right? Versus on the flip side, if you're a guy who no girls are interested in you, and then you find one girl, well, if that girl's playing games, you got to stick around and deal with it. And that's the exact same concept that we're talking about when we're looking at leads and we're looking at time. So we have to have more leads than time, right? Now, you may be saying, okay, this sounds all fine and dandy, but how do I actually do that? Like the situation that I'm in, I definitely have more time than leads, but I don't know how to change that situation. Well, basically, there's a couple different ways you can do it, right? One way is you can buy a bunch of cheap aged leads so that you just have a ton of leads to talk to, right? The other way, which is what I recommend with the aged leads, those are apparently going to be outlawed in a month. So you really only have this one option. And that option is to basically generate leads on Facebook, okay? You could probably use another type of marketing channel, but I prefer Facebook. So generating Facebook leads. Now, why does having Facebook leads put you in a situation where you have more leads than time? Well, it's because these are low cost and you can generate a high volume of leads, okay? Like, for example, in my business, we have way more leads than we have time. In fact, I think it's 1,500 leads that haven't even been called yet because we don't have time. Now, that puts our business in a much better position than an agent who only has 50 leads because they paid $25 a lead and that's all they could afford, and they have to make something work out of those leads. Whereas most of our clients on average for final expense, they're paying about $8 a lead. And then for an IUL lead, they're paying, IUL or term, they're usually going to be paying about 15 to 20 per lead, right? So you can generate a lot more leads versus, if you get this from a vendor, you might pay 25 to 30. And if you get these from a vendor, you're probably paying 40 to 50 even, right? So you can just get so much more leads for a much lower cost, right? So this is what I recommend for getting more leads than time, is just doing Facebook leads. It's very simple. So once you have more leads than time, now we need to leverage and improve how we're spending our time, okay? And the way that you do this is by leveraging pre-booked appointments, okay? So in a day as an agent, let's say you have 8 hours. Some of you guys may work more than this. Some of you may work less. If you're not working 8 hours, I don't know what you're doing, but anyway, let's say you have 8 hours, right? The results that you get within those 8 hours are dependent on the activities and the actions that you decide to take. So the higher leverage the actions that you take during those 8 hours, the more money, the more families you're going to help, right? Very simple. It's the concept of leverage. The more leveraged your time is, the more you're getting out of each hour that you're putting in, the more money you will make. So a really good way to do this is to just, if like the more of this time, the more of this 8 hours that we can spend in conversations as opposed to listening to the dial tone, the more money we will make, right? More convos equals more money, right? Very simple. And so what pre-booked appointments allow you to do, and doesn't mean that every single person is going to show, depending on the product, you could see anywhere from like a 40 to a 60, 70% show rate. But the more time that you're speaking to people and the more that you have appointments and have pre-booked appointments, the higher amount that you're going to be able to squeeze out of these 8 hours here, right? The more leverage your time is during the 8 hours, the more you're going to be able to make during the 8 hours. So I recommend leveraging pre-booked appointments. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. You can either have a dialer, like an appointment setter. You can have an appointment setter do this. And then you can also use automations and calendar. Okay. So what a lot of our clients will do is they use our automations that we have inside of our CRM. And they basically prompt people to book appointments from the ad. Whenever they come in from Facebook, we just send them directly to the calendar so they can book appointments. And then you're probably going to be your own appointment setter in the beginning, but later down the line, you can actually hire a dialer to call leads for you and set appointments, right? So these are the two ways to leverage pre-booked appointments. The more appointments you have in a day, the more leveraged your time is, right? So that is the second step in terms of getting to 100K, getting to six figures the easy way. Now let's look at number 3, which is once you're getting appointments, once you're talking to people, having conversations, we obviously have to be able to sell, right? Turns out in order to make money in a sales career, we have to have sales skills. Now, you're going to have to develop sales skills either way, but a great way to shortcut this is using something I call a sales process, also known as a script, right? AKA script, okay? Now, if you're selling final expense, we have the best script on the market. I have a YouTube video where we break down the whole thing. So I'd recommend checking that out. We can link it in the description down below. And the script is also downloadable down below, okay? So whenever you're using a script, there's a couple things you need to know. You want to basically have, it's called a systemized sales process, right? So this means that every single sale is the same to some extent. Obviously, there's going to be variation from person to person because not every prospect that you talk to is the exact same, right? People are different. There's a lot of variation. But the overall process and formula we do should be the same. It's like, if I go to a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta versus a Chick-fil-A in Austin, Texas, it's the same sandwich, right? There may be a different cook. They may be serving a different person, but it's the same sandwich every time. And we want to have the same conversation every time. Because we have the same conversation over and over and over and over and over. Guess what we're going to get pretty good at? Having that conversation and having it result in a policy being closed. So we need to have a systemized sales process, okay? Some of the things that I've done to make our script really, really solid, and again, there's going to be a link down below. You guys can download it for free, is, let me see if it might be easier to just show you guys. I'll have our editor add in like kind of what the script looks like. But basically, we have kind of hyperlinked different things throughout the script, so it's easy to click through. So point being, you just want to make the script as seamless as possible, and you want to make it very easy to learn and follow, right? And when you have a proven sales process, everything else comes easier. I'm also going to be creating one of these for like IULs in the future and like terms, so stay tuned for that. If you guys want an IUL script, IUL presentation, just comment down below so I know to make it. So that's the fourth piece. Once you have the sales process, the last piece, and this is something honestly, like I feel like every single agent gets this wrong, like 95% of people. And this is, can you guys guess? Building a pipeline. Okay? Build a follow-up pipeline. Okay? Most of the deals that you will get will be on follow-up, right? You will have a percentage of people that will buy on the first call, okay? But But, when you talk to an agent who tells you, I only one call close, I don't want you to be impressed by that person. Just know they are disorganized and lazy. If every single sale that someone makes is on a one call close, it's not because they're a great closer, it's because they don't follow up. So if you want to make six figures, you need to master the level, you need to master follow-up, right? So building a follow-up pipeline. This is nearly impossible if you're not using a CRM. So we use Go High Level. I have like a whole white labeled version of Go High Level that we've, tweaked out and made amazing. But if you're trying to do this on like a spreadsheet or with, like a bunch of like lead cards, you're never going to be able to do it. You need to have a CRM for this. But basically what you do is you build a couple different pipelines inside of your CRM called follow-up. And then you can segment this out into follow-up and then hot list, okay? And so hot list is like people that are going to convert in the next 30 days, all right? Follow-up is just longer-term follow-up. And if you ever get no-showed or, you have some extra time during the day, you need to schedule this out realistically. You're going to go through and text and call these people. And then you're also going to text, I'm just going to say T and C, text and call these people, but put more of an emphasis on the hot list because they're like the hotter prospects that are going to convert soon. So that's kind of a basic overview of building a follow-up pipeline. If you guys want a whole separate video on that, let me know and I can create it. But those are the 4 steps. Now let me show you guys how the numbers actually bear out when it comes to making 6 figures. Alrighty guys, so let's look at the numbers here to make $100,000 per year. So let's say you want to make 100K, your commission rate is 100,000, your retention rate's 80%, average policy size is $1,200, dollars per sale. Let's say it takes you $200 to get a sale. This is a stat called PPL or premium per lead. And let's say your cost per lead is about $8, which is what our clients do on average. So based off of these numbers, this is what it would take for you to get to $100,000. 8.6 leads a day, $70 a day in spend. You'd need to write about $13K a month in AP and make about $105 a day. Now, I believe, okay, so it's not in the description down below on most videos, but I will add it in this one. So if you guys want access to the insurance profit calculator, it's going to be linked in the description down below. So you guys can click down below and get access to this so you can plug in your own numbers to see exactly what it would take for you to get to 100K, 200K, whatever your income goal is. So hopefully you guys got value from this video. If you did, leave a like down below. And if you want us to help you generate leads to get to 100K per year or more in income selling life insurance, then click the link down below. I'll see you guys soon.